Fanfic Corner, presented by Jennifer. A Second Chance, Chapter 17, Kindness and Compassion, Part 2. Okay, now for those of you who have not yet seen the first few videos for A Second Chance, I suggest you go view them now, as this is a continuation of that story. Ever since the battle against Chuck, I've been feeling a mix of joy and sadness. Thankfully, Mitch didn't use me during the whole festival or the gym battle. Shade is much better than me at everything, but I was still surprised that he lost. Actually, I'm glad he lost, because it's not about survival anymore. His limits are there, but he doesn't have to battle recklessly. The battle against Primate was a great confidence booster. I'm happy I can contribute to this team, but I still can't use my psychic attacks for too long. What I saw after the gym battle was like Sarah all over again. Only this time it was a male trainer beating up a female trainer and her Ampharos. Times like that make me wish my ball wasn't transparent, or at least have the ability to close my eyes. Yes, I still have flashbacks about that day, and that incident made them worse and more frequent. Whenever I got to the point of being a nervous wreck, I remembered that Mitch would never do something like that. And now I was up against a scary-looking opponent still trying to feel comfortable. Bite! It'll be a one-hit knockout. Fat chance. Quick attack. Mitch was right. Not many Pokemon are faster than me, especially ones not owned by a gym leader. His confidence never wanes whenever I'm sent out. My move worked on the defense before I scored a direct hit to its open stomach. Follow up was swift. It had a zero chance to dodge from close range. The other trainer had a grin on his face. Lick. Shoot. I realized he waited until I got too close. A long tongue didn't have to go far to slap me. Darn thing was disgusting, which caused me to just stand there in disbelief before I got hit again by the super effective move. Honestly, I'm still a little nervous about contact like that. Go for confusion. Waves of psychic energy went to the Garnable, but they didn't seem to work. It charged towards me in a zigzag pattern. It got confused. What followed was head banging into a tree and me landing on the ground. Mitch was probably upset that I let my guard down, but come on, my luck has never been that good. It looked like I was cruising to a win until a blast of water hit me from the side. My master was furious. What the heck was that? It wasn't clear cut at first, but a bush rustling caused me to fire another wave in that general direction. Lo and behold, a Poliwhirl came out firing its water gun again. So you want to win that bad? Fine. We can take it up a step. I immediately turned back and shook my head. I'm tired of someone bailing me out every time I get into trouble. The younger opponent didn't look fazed. I know you want an Olivine, but it must have been a fluke. Let's see if you're worthy of that title. Gardevoir looked tired, but Poliwrath's water attacks are powered up in the drizzle. All right, Espeon, go for it. Use confusion. I went to fire a wave of energy, but it was no confusion. Inner power came from somewhere else this time. Instead of the weaker wave or trying to move my opponents, a rainbow-colored beam came from my jewel. Laser-like precision helped me hit both of the targets, both of them fainting in less than 5 seconds. Impossible. You didn't even have to send out another Pokemon. He just recalled his 2 fainted Pokemon before running off. The thrill was something I've never experienced before. It was a victory, and I don't feel tired from my use of psychic attacks. Still, I turned to my master and tilted my head. Had he recognized what just happened? Even though I did, I still can't believe it. He knelt down in the light drizzle and rubbed my head. Hey, pretty girl. I was shivering from the dampness and excitement, yet I still couldn't purr like a champ. That was a beautiful Psybeam. We'll work on this when it's warmer. Right there, I broke down crying. No longer do I need to be supported because I'm weak. He let me get it out of my system before talking to me again. I'm proud of you. He smiled. His smile always makes me feel comfortable. Just another reminder that I made the right decision. More challengers crossed paths with me on the way back to Ecruteak. All of those battles went without a loss or surprise Pokemon in the bushes. Some even congratulated me on my tournament win. Rule of thumb in the region is that only surrounding cities hear stories like this. It means once I got to Mahogany Town, no one will care. Checkpoint gates in the distance signaled I was on the outskirts of the city. By afternoon, the rain had stopped falling. However, the clouds were still looking threatening from above. Ecruteak was relatively deserted on the gloomy-looking day, so I took more time to wander around the city. Obviously, nothing had changed in a few days since I was last here, except the weather. Before I went to the Pokemon Center, I made the tough decision to visit the cemetery. I know that Umbreon is no idiot. He knows where we are. Do I let him out? If I don't, then he might hate me for holding him back. If I do, then he might hate me for bringing it up to him again. Darned if I know what to do, and darned if I don't. Letting him out is something I have to do. He materialized in front of me with a look of sadness on his face. I know that he was aware of his surroundings. Just like the last time, I let him do his own thing without moving. Umbreon had taken a seat before pawing at the tombstone. No crying, no yelling, just silence. He took one deep breath, followed by a bow. I went over to pay my respects as well by bowing. We both sat in silence while I kept petting his head. The moment he started to break down was the moment he wanted to go back. I will never shame him for shedding tears in public or in his ball. He's gotten over the initial shock and acts normal, but deep down he will always be hurt emotionally and psychically and physically. What if I mess up and use all 5 moves in battle? How will my opponent handle it? Will Umbreon be called a freak? Arceus forbid I have him taken from me due to his circumstances. The graveyard was visited by a few more mourners before I decided to leave the city via the east gate. Many trainers littered the path to Mahogany Town compared to the clear path I took the first time. One by one, I beat them with minimum effort, although I had used Espeon more to gauge her new psychic Psybeam attack. From first glance, it looked like she could handle the added power, but battle fatigue set in. Despite that common problem, she seemed to fire off a constant power as opponents to fizzling out. My other Pokemon may be getting jealous considering I use those 2 more, but I do it so they can feel a sense of normalcy. An empty Pokemon Center was a welcome sight considering the sardine-like one in Olivine made me uncomfortable. I don't mind people, but I do mind a lot of them in a small area. Nurse Joy recognized my face the moment I stepped up to the counter. We both had a conversation about the events since we last met. She was happy to hear how everyone was doing, in addition to my challenging Percy. He is much different than the other gym leaders in terms of scheduling because he usually takes long periods of time off. It does work in my favor this time around since he is in town. So when would you like to challenge him? I thought about when it would be best. No way in heck would I do another early battle like against Chuck or too late like Morty. How about after lunch? Say 1:30 p.m.? She went to scan the page for time conflicts. Her guess made me nervous until she pointed out that no other trainers would be facing him tomorrow. I will schedule you in for that time. Good luck. With an important battle ahead, it was time to plan for victory after I found my room in the center. Everyone was released from their balls so they could stretch after being crammed in there for the whole day. The game plan was pretty straightforward. Girls are going to have a field day. Reactions differed, with Umbreon being disappointed to Ampharos jumping for joy. Most importantly, Gyarados looked relieved. I had been using him too much, and hearing that must have made him relax, although I have to believe he still wants to battle for fun. It doesn't take long for everyone to fall asleep on the floor with their partner. Seriously, what did Espeon do? Anyways, I pulled the covers over my head at the thought of the freezing gym. Then I remembered the jacket Jasmine gave me sitting on the doorknob. That thing wasn't just waterproof, it was weatherproof, and it was nice and toasty. As I closed my eyes, I remembered how close I am to the Silver Conference. Intimidating as that sounds to most trainers, tomorrow's gym battle is just another battle. I'm coming for that badge.